Hey everybody, happy Friday, and may the 4th be with you. Yes, today is Star Wars Day, May 4th, and I figured how better to celebrate than to take a look at my entire Star Wars collection. This is something I did about 2 years ago on Star Wars Day, but since then my collection has grown and I've gained many new viewers, so I think it's about time for an updated video. There's a lot to look at, so this might take a little while, so let's dive right in, starting off, of course, with the original trilogy in no particular order, but we'll go with the VHS box sets first. This one here being from 1992, and a thing of beauty. I love this wraparound artwork. That is amazing. It looks really nice. But it does actually get better than that. The artwork inside is great as well, and then for some reason, we have wings. Yes, look at this weird design. I really do enjoy that. Again, more fun artwork. And then, of course, the tapes themselves have great artwork as well. I love when they use poster art, which is one of the main reasons why I love collecting VHS so much, is for great poster art, and we get that on all 3 tapes. These are amazing, and of course these are the original theatrical releases, and I put that in quotations because ever since the movies were first in theaters, we've never got a true theatrical release on home video. They've always been altered a little bit, whether it's the credits or the opening scene or this and that. Every single home video release has been altered slightly, some more so than others, like 1997, but we'll get to that later. But in this case, again, slight minuscule differences between this and the actual theatrical release that you would have seen in theaters, but pretty darn close. So still, in my opinion, the theatrical release of Star Wars in a really, really nice box set, again, from 1992. Then in 1995, we yet again got the theatrical releases of the Star Wars trilogy in this nice Darth Vader box set, looking pretty good. Although, in my opinion, they should have done 3 of these, because if you see the artwork here on the actual tapes themselves, we have a Darth Vader, a Stormtrooper, and a Yoda. I would have loved to have seen 3 different box set releases, one with all 3 heads on it, and then you could collect them all. They would look so nice lined up next to one another, but they did not do that. Still very cool, and of course, again, these are not the original theatrical releases in the sense that, I mean, they're already calling Star Wars A New Hope, so you can see there are some slight differences being made already. Again, no actual home release has ever been the true theatrical releases. Then we go into 1997 with the special edition releases here. This is when things got really different, and George Lucas, of course, went crazy and started adding CGI elements and whatnot, which I just, you know, I'm not one of those people who, like, just hate upon the special editions, but at the same time, I just don't think it was necessary. I don't believe they ever should have gone and altered with it, because why? I mean, I know they wanted to make it more like the, you know, add more CGI to it and kind of get it prepared for the prequels that were coming out, and George Lucas, of course, was like, well, there was things I wanted to do back then, but technology wouldn't allow me. Now I can finally do it. I get that, but I just don't really like altering with movies, in my opinion. So they shouldn't have done it, but again, I don't hate it. It's not the worst thing in the world, in my opinion. This year being the widescreen release in silver, they did a full screen release as well. That one is gold. I probably should have both, but still very cool. The artwork is not bad either. We do have some more nice poster art, as you can see, framed in silver. That's the only thing I don't like about it, the silver frame with widescreen and the THX logo on the bottom. They could have done without that. Otherwise, these are pretty nice looking. Again, I really do enjoy the poster art they did decide to use. So, again, 1997, the start of all the major changes to the movies, but still a nice box set nevertheless. And then finally we go into the, was this 2000, 99, something like that? When was this one? 2000, yes, release of the trilogy. Again, special edition, but in a pretty nice box set here. Look at this cool, whoa, it's coming apart there. All right, that happens with age, unfortunately. Looks like the glue has unfortunately come apart there. I will have to fix that. But this really nice like plastic sleeve. I like that. It's clear, it's see-through. And then we have some nice artwork on the inside. There's Yoda and Darth and Luke there. C-3PO and R2-D2. Look at that. Really nice artwork inside. As far as the VHS tapes themselves, yeah, I don't know. I mean, first off, why is it like white, black, and then white? I don't know. They should have just kept them all the same color. And I don't like the little boxes. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I really don't care much for the artwork on these. So this is not my favorite release, but at the same time, it's got some merit. I kind of like the artwork on the actual box here. I like the plastic clear sleeve that I have to glue back together. I like it. It's not bad. It's pretty nice. I mean, it's cool that you can see, like, I like how it's clear so you can see stuff through it. I mean, it's neat. I think it actually goes like this, though, with the tapes hidden. I'm not mistaken. So there you go. So you can see, you know, Darth and the X-Wings there. I mean, look at that. It looks nice. It is a really nice looking set, but again, the actual artwork on the VHS tapes themselves, not so much. They could have done better there. So that's it for the VHS box sets, but I do have the original trilogy on beta as well. These are the again, the quote-unquote theatrical releases. Again, pretty nice artwork. Not the best, but not the worst. My main problem is all this stuff on the bottom. I like it when they just make it the full artwork, but still not bad either. And again, these are beta, even though they are in the VHS cases. As you can see, they just do that thing where they put the little kind of cardboard insert so you can have the actual beta tape inside there, and they slap a beta sticker on the side. Many companies did this to save money. Why make a beta, you know, beta-sized artwork and a VHS-sized artwork when you can literally just put this little, like, well, I can't get it out now, of course, but there's this little piece of cardboard you stick in there, and it allows the beta to just stick inside, and then you just slap. Actually, wow, this one still says VHS on the side. I wonder if the sticker just fell off. It must have at some point, but usually they just slap a beta sticker on the side there, and you're good to go. So, very cool. The original trilogy on beta. That's always fun as well. Try to move some of these. This is going to be the most difficult part of this video, is making room for everything. There's a lot. All right, then we have 2 of the films on CED, capacitance electronic disc. We do have Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. I am missing Jedi on CED. I'll have to get that. But very cool releases. These both being in stereo. You can tell, well, they say stereo, but also, for those of you who do not know, if it has a white case, it is a mono. If it has a blue case, it is in stereo. That's the case when it comes to, no pun intended, when it comes to CED releases. So again, Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. I still have to get myself a copy of Jedi yet on CED, but man, I love these. Look at that nice big artwork. Very, very cool. All right, but now we get into some of my favorites here. We have the Laserdiscs, and for those of you who know me, Laserdiscs are my all-time favorite format ever made because it was the first true format for collectors. And that's the thing I think is so cool about them. Special features, really nice box sets, like commentaries, things like that. Again, they were meant for collectors. They were a little bit more expensive. A lot of people, you know, had their VHS. Some had beta at the time when there was battling going on. Laserdisc was more for the collector, the person who wanted to spend that little bit, well, that lot of bit of extra money to get a better quality picture and to get some great special features. And I do have a few of these. We have, once again, Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back in these. What is the date on these? I don't even know. These 89? Yes, these look to be 89 releases of Star Wars. Nice artwork on these as well, very similar to the CEDs. I believe these open up as well. Yes, they got some nice artwork on the insides, as you can see. These are very nice releases. Again, just love Laserdisc. Oh, look at that. The big Darth there in the... Oh, that is so nice. These are great releases. Unfortunately, I am missing Jedi in these releases, but I do have Jedi in this release from This is 86, so I do have an 86 release of the Jedi, but I don't have the other two in this, so I gotta get these sets completed. But this has really nice artwork. Again, I'm a big fan when the artwork takes up the entire front, and that is what they did here. Looks great. I really do love this, especially the slave bikini there going on. That's awesome. So very cool release as well. And then of course we do have some more. Well, actually, you know what? I'm just realizing now, it doesn't really show it on the front. This is actually a Japanese release of Return of the Jedi. I did not realize that, actually, until like just now. As you can see, black and white artwork on the inside, but all Japanese writing. So very interesting. Very cool. I don't know why I did not realize that. Well, probably because looking at the outside, everything's in English except for a little bit of stuff here on the bottom is in Japanese. And then for some reason, the entire inside's in Japanese. I don't know why they went that route, but still, very nice release of Return of the Jedi. I'm really loving that artwork. Then we have, this is from, I believe, also 95. Yes, a 95 release of The Empire Strikes Back. As you can see, kind of similar to those the VHS tapes inside that 95 box set, with the box set pretty much just being the character, and then the title, not necessarily anything kind of down here in the corner. They had to get bigger with the artwork on the Laserdiscs. So basically the same release, just the Laserdisc version, but I love these. These are so incredibly nice looking, and I've been trying to hunt down a copy of the entire set for a while now, but this is the only one I've been able to get my hands on for a good price. I do see them from time to time, but of course, it's Star Wars on Laserdisc. People think they're worth like $9 million, and they're not. So trying to get a whole collection of these. I only have Empire, as you can see, but it looks great. I really do love it. Yeah, I know, the little bar on top, not the best, but otherwise, really, really nice looking artwork, and these do look fantastic, all lined up. These are great. And of course, more fun artwork inside. Loving that. So really nice releases from 95 of the Star Wars trilogy. Of course, again, the theatrical releases. Then we go into... we'll do this one here next, because this is, again, the theatrical releases. And this box set is nice. This, when I first started collecting Laserdiscs, this is one of the box sets and one of the things I wanted to get most in my collection. And I found a guy on Craigslist, of all places, selling this for, like, dirt cheap. It was a little concerning because I thought, why is he selling it for like nothing? Am I going to get scammed? Am I going to send him money and not receive anything? Is it going to be in bad condition? Like, what is the case with this? And no, I got a like mint copy of this amazing Star Wars trilogy, the definitive collection, widescreen collector's edition. Look at this box set, all in black and silver. There's a TIE fighter and an X-Wing on the side there, or like on the flap. It looks amazing. This thing is in beautiful, beautiful condition. And it gets better. When you open it up, you got some niceness inside as well. So first off, not only do you get the actual movies, but you get this really sweet book too. Look at that. This is called George Lucas, The Creative Impulse. And this is actually about George Lucas and all his films, not just Star Wars. Starts off, let's see, where do we go here? Well, introduction, obviously, but where's, like, I'm trying to find the first, like, movie they talk about. I have no idea, but it talks about, like, his early work all the way up until, I guess, maybe Star Wars? How far do we go? No, we're going past Star Wars. I don't even know where we end here, but it's really about, just George Lucas and, probably all his films up until this box set was put out back in, is there a date on here? This was released in 93, so probably all his work from leading up to 1993. So really nice book here. A little dead on top, unfortunately, but still very cool. And then as far as the artwork on the actual Laserdiscs are concerned, yeah, that's it. They kind of skimped out on this. You're not really getting much. Even the inside sleeves. I mean, it's nice. Here's the thing. It's nice they provided these like nice paper sleeves. I like that. But it's just stars. Okay, so artwork not the best as far as the actual discs inside are concerned. Excuse me. But still a really nice set, nevertheless. Again, when I was collecting for Laserdisc, when I first started collecting, This was like the set I had to get my hands on. And I was so lucky. Why can't I get these back in here? I was so lucky to find this for such a great price. So, very cool 1993 release of the Star Wars Trilogy on Laserdisc. Put that down there. And then we have, I believe, what, 97? Yes, the 97 release of the Trilogy on Laserdisc. Again, kind of just in the same realm as the 97 VHS box set, this being basically that version. Similar artwork, again, not the best. This is just kind of like a sticker on the front. Yeah, they skimped out a little bit. Slides open here. You get your booklet with all your information you need about chapters and whatnot. And then just the discs in sleeves. That's it. No other artwork. It's not the best release of Star Wars again. I'm a big fan on just presentation. And it's kind of just okay. And again, these are the special edition releases, so it is what it is. But still a very nice box set, nevertheless, and as a Laserdisc fan, very cool to have. So that, oh wait, no, we're not done yet. We actually do have the Star Wars Trilogy on VCD, on video CD, this being from 2000. Very cool release. Nice box set here. A little squishy, not the best design as far as keeping this from getting crushed, which as you can see, it kind of sort of has been. But it does open up here, and you have some pretty cool artwork inside. Look at that. That's actually pretty nice. Really interesting that they actually went the route of doing artwork for all the inside and whatnot. A lot of times when it comes to VCDs, they're cheap. These are kind of the poor man's, the poor man's, I don't know what you want to say, poor man's DVDs, basically. And as you can see, this is basically the same artwork as that 2000 VHS set with a really cool like clear sleeve on it. So basically the video CD version of that VHS release. The artwork on the actual discs are not bad either. I mean, it's not great, it's just a bunch of floating heads, but still not bad. For a video CD release, this is pretty nice because again, usually these aren't the best. They skip out on these, but this one here does look pretty good. Also comes with an exclusive Episode 2 sneak peek behind the scenes with George Lucas. Very cool, so really neat to have this on video CD, on VCD. Awesome. All right, then we go into DVDs here. We have, of course, the Star Wars Trilogy. I still remember when this came out. It was the big talk. I actually pre-ordered this and got it like day one because this was the first time Star Wars was finally getting released to DVD. It was big talk. Everybody wanted a copy of this. So again, I actually pre-ordered my copy and paid probably way too much for this. But looking back on it, it was worth it because it does have, of course, the movies in their special edition forms, but it also has the bonus material disc, which does contain a documentary which has not yet been re-released outside of this DVD. So if you come across this, if you get the whole set, awesome. But if you just come across this out in the wild, it is worth picking up because, again, that documentary has not yet been re-released. Artwork on these, just kind of okay, not really the best. So not the best box set in the world, but not the worst either. And the first time we actually did get Star Wars on DVD, so this was a pretty big deal when that first came out. But this here, this is what everybody needs to have. If you do not have this in your collection, get it. It goes for it actually goes for quite a bit online. I actually had a copy of this just recently, brand new, factory sealed, that I actually got from my store, and it's sold for a nice amount of money because this is pretty rare. It is out of print. The Star Wars Trilogy. Now, this is when they released the original Star Wars Trilogy and then the Star Wars prequel trilogy in two different box sets. They actually look similar. This one in blue. I believe the prequel trilogy is like in red. I don't have the prequel trilogy box set yet. I would like to get it someday. I don't really need it per se. You'll see in a second. I don't need that box set, but for collecting purposes, I would like to have them both at one point. But the reason why this is a must-have, and I had to get this for my collection, is because these contain not only the special edition releases, but they actually have the theatrical releases as well. The good news is again, they have the theatrical releases, which is really, really cool. The bad news is they're just the Laserdisc transfers. So you're not getting necessarily the best quality, good quality. It looks good, but it's not the best. And on top of that, it's in letterbox, meaning that if you have a widescreen TV, which I guess everybody does nowadays, you're not getting the full widescreen. It's basically full, it's widescreen within a full screen frame, and that kind of stinks. But that's the way it was with the Laserdiscs. So it is what it is. It's not the best. A lot of people were pretty upset by that when they put these out. But from what I hear, the original theatrical releases are like lost. I heard like they don't like exist anymore or something, and that's why they went with the original Laserdisc transfers. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but that is what I heard. So if that is the case, that's a shame that we might not ever get like a really good release of the theatrical movies, the theatrical cuts of the movies on DVD or Blu-ray or something someday. Hopefully Disney steps up and we do get them once the whole like Fox merger thing goes on. That would be fantastic. But still, nice releases. These are 2 disc sets. Disc 1 being the special edition, and I guess Disc 2 being the theatrical edition. So very cool release. If you come across this, pick it up. Not only is it something you have to have in your collection so that you actually have the theatrical releases on DVD, but if you don't want them, if you don't care about the set, buy it anyway, because you can put it on eBay and make some money. So it's a really cool set. I do really enjoy this. And again, I got to get the prequel trilogy just to have it. But then we have the Star Wars The Complete Saga Blu-ray set here. This is also really cool. This coming with the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy as well, plus a bunch of bonus features. This is a 9-disc set. This thing is loaded. Why the documentary from the original DVD release is not on here, I don't know. There are bits and pieces of that documentary within these documentaries, but that documentary in of itself is not found on here. I don't know why they did that, but still really nice set. I would recommend this. It is great. Again, special edition Star Wars films, but still very nice release nevertheless. And if you can get your hands on it for a good price, it is worth picking up. Great set, especially for the special features alone. Then we get into the prequels. Now, here's the thing about the prequels. I like them. I am not ashamed to admit that. There are a lot of people out there who just bash them completely, and it drives me nuts because I actually do enjoy them. Are they as good? You know what? I actually kind of say yes. Every time somebody points out something negative with the prequels, I usually can say, well, what about this from the original trilogy? I love the original trilogy. Great movies. They're fantastic. They're amazing. They're so great. But are they perfect? No, there's all kinds of mistakes and things they should have done differently, and just little things that I'm like, no, why did they do that? It just seems cheesy or bad, or that's not good, or I hate this character, or why did they go that route with this storyline? And just little things they could have changed to make better movies. Not that they're not already... they are great. Again, they're fantastic. I cannot stress that enough. But for every bad thing somebody points out in the prequels, I can point out something equally as bad in the original trilogy. But I love all 6 movies. I am a big fan of the original, or of the prequels, including the Phantom Menace, the one people seem to hate the most. In my opinion, it's the second prequel movie that I think is the worst. It's still great, but it's not as good. But I like this one. I like how it really set things up. I didn't mind Anakin. Some people really didn't like him. Of course, there's Jar Jar, but I don't know, Ewoks. I mean, as much as people hate on Jar Jar, I kind of feel the same way about the Ewoks. They kind of bug the crap out of me as well. But I don't know. Yes, Jar Jar can be annoying, but I don't hate the character per se. He's okay. But I really love some of the characters in here. Like Darth Maul is fantastic. Young Obi-Wan is amazing. I mean, there's so many great characters in this film, and it just sets up a really great story, and I actually really do enjoy this. This one here being the widescreen video collector's edition release. I believe the only one they did like this. I don't think the other 2 movies came in sets like this. I could be wrong, but I don't believe it. So these kind of open up sort of very similar to the VCD version here. It just has the VHS inside, again in widescreen, and it also has a few collectibles. We do have some film cells and the Art of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So pretty cool book of some artwork. So really neat release. Again, just the first prequel, Phantom Menace, on VHS, and this really nice collectible box set. And I love that movie. I don't care what you guys say. Then we have the prequel on DVD. The prequel trilogy on DVD. I like these releases. They're all 2-disc sets. These were some of the first things I remember grabbing for my collection. I really do enjoy these releases. And even though I have these movies and other sets, I will probably always keep these just because, I don't know, I have a soft spot in my heart for these releases. I used to watch these movies like so many times. I just really do enjoy them. What can I say? So fantastic releases, just fun, a lot of great special features worth picking up. And then that was pretty much it for the original trilogy and the prequels. But then we get into the newer films. So of course we have the I guess we want to start with that. The Force Awakens. I have 2 different releases of this. We have the Blu-ray DVD digital copy release with a nice slipcover and whatnot, and then we have this release, also a Blu-ray DVD digital copy, and I believe this is this the Target exclusive? I want to say this is the Target exclusive release, which in my opinion is not necessarily as good. It does come with a bonus disc, which is great, I believe. Yeah, but the problem is they're in sleeves, and you guys know how I feel about discs inside sleeves. That's a no-no. Companies shouldn't do that because they're designing their packaging to damage your discs. I don't like that. So, interesting artwork. I do kind of like it. I just don't like the sleeves very much. So, cool release. And again, I do believe this was the, I think that was the Target exclusive. So, 2 different releases of that I have. Then, of course, we have The Last Jedi. I just have the Blu-ray digital copy release of that. I do enjoy these movies as well, by the way. I know some people have problems with these. I like them. And, of course, we have Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Really enjoyed this. Big fan of the whole idea of them doing, you know, different kind of spin-off movies, as long as they continue them to be good. Rogue One was great. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing a Solo. I'm sure that'll be great as well. So, yeah, very cool release of that. Again, the Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo pack of Rogue One. All right, so now I guess we'll get into some of the more kind of interesting spin-off-y things. For instance, we have Star Wars animated classics or animated adventures. We have Ewoks on VHS, which I guess I need to replace that case. But yeah, Ewoks. And then we have Droids, which I have on VHS as well, and I also have it on DVD. These are also kind of rare if you can get your hands on them. So, some animated fun right there. These are from, like, when were these out? In the 80s? Yeah, it looks like 85, I believe these were from. So, they're a little dated, but they're also a lot of fun. So, cool releases there. Then we have the Clone Wars. This was a why do I say it like that? The Clone Wars. This was a great animated like mini-series on Cartoon Network, done by the same people who did Samurai Jack. If you were a fan of Samurai Jack, this was done in the very same style, and it felt like you were watching Samurai Jack just with Star Wars, and that was pretty cool because Samurai Jack was amazing, and you pop Star Wars in place of Samurai Jack, and you get something pretty cool. So this was a really, really good mini-series. I recommend it. I don't hear enough people talk about this, but again, I still remember when these came out, and they were so much fun. Really recommend this this series. I wish they would re-release this to Blu-ray. That'd be really fantastic. Hopefully someday we see that. Then, of course, they did the Clone Wars movie, and I remember when this came out thinking, why? They did this. Like, why do we... I don't understand. Why do we need this? I understand why we need a Clone Wars series, because, unfortunately... what I do with my movies here. Unfortunately, between like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, I mean, there's like that kind of gap where you're not really like, you don't really see much of the war. Like the war kind of happens, but you don't really know much about it. They kind of skip over it. So I really liked when they did this miniseries, and it kind of felt like, okay, they're showing us the actual war that happened now. That's pretty cool. And then when this came out in theaters, I remember thinking, well, why? They already did it, but it is different. It's not the same, although I gotta be honest, I kind of like this better than this. I've actually rewatched this, like, I think it was like last year, and not as good as I remember it. When I first watched it, I remember really enjoying it, but the second time around, I was like, I think if I really wanted to watch some Clone Wars, I'd check these out instead. But still, it's decent, it's good, and also out of print now for some reason. Why this is not available on DVD or Blu-ray anymore, I don't know, but it's not, unfortunately. Then, of course, from the movie, they said, well, why not do a series of Clone Wars? I have Season 1 in this nice, like, digibook release. That's pretty cool. I have Season 4. Wait, is that where I go? Yeah, Season 4. So I'm missing 2 and 3. I got to get those at some point. I don't know where I got this. On Blu-ray, I have the 5th season, but just the discs. I honestly don't know how I obtained this. I want to say somebody sent it to me. So yeah, season 5, and then we have the Lost Missions as well. So I am missing a few seasons there. Got to get my hands on that, but still, the Clone Wars series. This was pretty good. Again, not like the biggest fan, but it was all right. I would recommend it. But this is where I really like things. They then did the Star Wars Rebels, and yeah, this, again, I really like. So I do have the original kind of, I don't even want to call it, the sort of mini-series they did. This was like the first few episodes of the series strung together to introduce the series, and it really got me into it. And of course, I have Seasons 1, Season 2, and then a new pickup for you guys. I just bought this actually today, Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. So, very cool series. This is a lot of fun. It has some great animation. The stories are really well fleshed out. I feel it's a lot better than what they did with the Clone Wars. Clone Wars at times felt a little too watered down, a little too kiddie in my opinion. This feels a little bit more edgy and raw, and it really does feel like some more good Star Wars stories. So I really do recommend Star Wars Rebels. Great series, and very cool to have all of these. That's awesome. All right, then we go into, oh boy, Star Wars Ewok Adventures, the Caravan of Courage and the Battle for Endor. Yikes. Some people really like these. Some people have a soft spot in their heart for these movies. They're not the best in my opinion. Then again, I'm not a big fan of Ewoks. I don't hate the Ewoks. Again, it's like Jar Jar Binks. I don't hate Jar Jar Binks. I don't love him either. Same thing with the Ewoks. I don't hate the Ewoks. I just don't love them. So they can get a little bit on my nerves, and these are 2 movies about Ewoks. So it is what it is. Still cool to have. I actually have a brand new factory sealed copy of this. Had an open copy just recently. Well, I've had an open copy in my collection for a while. Just picked this up recently, and I sold off my open copy because I don't see myself sitting down and watching these anytime again soon. So that's why I decided to keep the sealed copy, because this is out of print. And again, like some of the other stuff I showed you guys, if you find a copy of this, grab it, because it's out of print, and even if you don't want it, pop it up on eBay. You'll make some money. So pretty cool release. 2 Ewok movies. Yay. But again, in my opinion, not the best movies ever, but still interesting to own. Then we have From Star Wars to Jedi, the making of a saga. I have 2 different VHS releases of this documentary. Let's see, we have one here from 1989 and the other from 1992. I believe this was released at the same time as the 92 VHS box set. It does have very similar artwork. So, very cool documentary. I believe there's a 3rd one of these out there, which I saw, well, which was at a Goodwill recently that I was at, and one of you guys pointed it out to me, and I went back to get it, and it was gone. So, foolish of me to have missed that. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, one of you guys pointed it out, and I wish I would have got it. So I do believe there is a 3rd version of this floating out there somewhere that I got to get my hands on. But for now, 2 cool releases of this really great documentary. I also really love the artwork on the on this release, the 92 release. That is awesome. Then we have Star Wars, the making of Star Wars. Again, another really cool documentary on the making of Star Wars. Cool artwork as well. I do enjoy the Darth Vader kind of being drawn up there. Kind of feels like a, I don't know, like an architect put them together, so very cool. Okay, from here we start moving even further away from the films with things like R2-D2 Beneath the Dome. This is a mockumentary done in the style of, I believe, Behind the Music, and it's done as though R2-D2 was a real droid living in the real world, showing him from his rise to stardom with these Star Wars films, and then leading into things like drinking problems and all these crazy things he got himself into, like you would see in Behind the Music. There's pictures of him with Ringo and Genie and him with a beer belly. So again, it's a mockumentary, but it's pretty enjoyable. It's only 20 minutes long, very quick, but if you can get this for a good price, it is worth picking up. It has some very funny moments in it, and again, it's interesting, it's different, it's kind of weird, but it's also very enjoyable. I would say it's one worth picking up, again, if you can get it for a good price. Then we move into the Lego Star Wars movies, and I actually really do enjoy pretty much all the Lego stuff. They're funny, they're enjoyable. I do get a kick out of these. I have pretty much everything Legos in my collection, the Batmans, the Marvel, all that stuff, and definitely the Star Wars. We have Droid Tales. This being Empire Strikes Out with the exclusive minifigure of Darth Vader with metal. Then we have the Yoda Chronicles, and we also have the Phantom Menace on Blu-ray with the exclusive minifigure of young Han Solo. Again, these are actually a lot of fun in my opinion. If you are a fan of just the Lego series of films and whatnot, the Star Wars ones are definitely great ones to pick up. They are a lot of fun for what they are. Then we have some Phineas and Ferb Star Wars. Yes, even Phineas and Ferb went the route of Star Wars. Of course, it's Disney. So this is great if you're a fan of Phineas and Ferb, as I am, and you're a fan of Star Wars. It's a great collaboration. I do enjoy this. This show is actually pretty funny, and I really do love this series. And again, the Star Wars kind of mashup was fun, so worth picking up. Then, as I'm sure you guys know, Robot Chicken had their Star Wars episodes as well, starting with the first, which is by far the best. Very funny, some really, really good skits in here. The second one is also pretty good as well, although not every skit is an absolute hit. They do have a few misses in this. And by 3, I felt like, yeah, they were starting to lose steam. 3 was not nearly as good as the first 2. Again, first one's the best. Second one, still pretty good. Third one, some funny skits in this, but a lot of misses. So, still a really cool series. I love that Robot Chicken went the route of doing some fun Star Wars episodes where they just make fun of just Star Wars throughout the entire episode. So these are great, fun to pick up. Then, of course, Family Guy did the same thing, and this is the Family Guy. This is the Laugh It Up Fuzzball, the Family Guy trilogy. It's their Star Wars trilogy. Cool box set here. You can get these in the box set or separately. This is actually kind of nice, and if you look at it, it is actually very similar in style to that original DVD release, which I think was pretty cool, and I'm assuming what they were going for. So some nice artwork inside, and then of course all 3 episodes we have Family Guy, It's a Trap, Family Guy, Something Something Dark Side, and Family Guy Presents Blue Harvest. So these are really cool. These were really funny as well. I do recommend them. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were all pretty good. I don't think I really disliked any of those. So really cool that Family Guy did some fun Star Wars episodes as well. Then, okay, now we start getting, like, really obscure here. We have things like, let's see, should I even show that? I guess. Hardware Wars, which is a spoof movie. If I'm not mistaken, this is not just Star Wars, though. It kind of spoofs all sorts of sci-fi movies, but I guess their main focus here is kind of Star Wars, so I do have that on VHS. Star Wait, this is a really, really good documentary all about, I believe it was it the Phantom Menace? Is that what they were waiting for? Yeah, I do believe, again, it was I do believe it was Phantom Menace. I'm trying to find it on the back here. I just want to make sure it wasn't the second. I want to make sure it wasn't episode 2. It was episode 1. No, maybe it was episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Anyway, this is a documentary about people standing in line waiting for the next Star Wars film. And it's really interesting to see these characters and, you know, them waiting in line for, like, all these days. And it's pretty cool to watch them stand in line for tickets. So that's actually a really good documentary. Then we have The Stars of Star Wars, interviews from the cast. And it is exactly that. A bunch of different random interviews from the cast of Star Wars. Interesting pickup. Star Warped, again, just kind of a spoof movie, which I do also believe kind of makes fun of a bunch of different sci-fi movies, but again, kind of the basis of it, a lot of it being Star Wars, although you can see there's some Star Trek on the front there as well. These are cool. We have Thumb Wars. These are from the Steve Odenkirk films, all done with thumbs. If you haven't seen these, some are better than others. And I remember Thumb Wars being the first one I ever saw, and I actually really enjoyed it. It made me laugh pretty hard. So this is what kind of got me into the Steve Odenkirk movies. So yeah, Thumb Wars, the Phantom Cuticle, and then we have the double feature set here on UMD Video as well. So a little bit of Star Wars on UMD Video. So very cool. Again, just kind of some more goofy stuff. And then we have Star Wars vs. Star Trek, which is a fun documentary, I believe, about Star Wars vs. Star Trek. I gotta be honest, I haven't actually watched this yet. I gotta do that. So, again, just some kind of randomness there. If you want to get really random, I guess we could say that Spaceballs is kind of a Star Wars spoof. I got a bunch of different releases of that, so we could start to get into some really crazy stuff. I do have an episode, or a VHS release of the Muppet Babies, which has the front cover that's done in like Star Wars. They had I think a sort of kind of Star Wars episode. Again, I could go on and on through my collection with just some really random and kind of obscure stuff, but we'd be here all day. So for the most part, that is my Star Wars collection. I do have, of course, soundtracks, but we're not going to get into that either. I don't feel like really digging them out. So this is pretty much just my my movie collection. So that is about it. I don't believe I'm forgetting anything, although I said that last time I did one of these videos and I did forget some stuff. So hopefully this time I did actually show you guys my entire collection. But for the most part, I do believe that is it. So hopefully maybe 2 years from now, I can do this again with an even bigger collection. Maybe I'll get some of those Laserdiscs and CEDs I want to grab. Hopefully by then I will have them. We'll see. So, all right, guys, there you go. Hope you guys had a great great Star Wars day. I hope the Force was with you, and I'm going to go. So as always, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Also, if you want to see a brand new video from me every single day, hit that subscribe button and you're going to get one. Also, be sure to check out Patreon, where you can help support the show. The simple donation of $1 a month or more if you like really does help out. Goes a long way, does go right back into these videos, and it does gain you early access on most of my videos as well. Also, be sure to check out Spreadshirt, where you can grab yourself many designs of Cinema Sickness t-shirts and hoodies and tank tops and hats and buttons and all kinds of really cool Cinema Sickness gear. Again, proceeds do help out the show. And as always, most importantly, check out the Cinema Sickness Retro Store on Instagram, where you can pick up all kinds of awesome media and really cool toys and other cool movie memorabilia. There are some good Star Wars items on there as well, so definitely check that out. Again, proceeds from the store are the most important and are really what keep the show going, so everything from that is really appreciated. Links to everything can be found down below in the description of this video. So again, that is it. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. May the Fourth be with you. Bye. Cool artwork as well. I do enjoy the Darth Vader kind of being drawn up there. Kind of feels like a I don't know, like an architect put them together. So very cool. All right, then we get into even more obscure stuff.